welcome to Phoenix Fan Fusion. This is Chasing the Whimsy. I'm your host, Ben, and we have
Megan.
How are you guys doing today?
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
That's our Friday crew over there.
My mom absolutely loved the Friday episode. She adored it. So thank you guys for making that special for us and then for my mom because she's not going to come to a con.
And if your mom says it's good, right?
We are here at Phoenix Fan Fusion. This is our first year doing a panel. We've been podcasting for 2 years in July. The hosts for Chasing the Whimsy will be me, Ben, Megan, and my son Liam.
Yeah, Liam's not here today. He made wrestling finals, so he chose to go there instead of here. Terrible choice. But, kids, right?
But he's a huge part of the podcast, even though he's not here. We keep the seats warm for him, so when he comes back from Utah or Colorado or comes back from Fargo for nationals, he tells us about dominating the mat or getting dominated, depending on what's happening. But he's 15, so it's hard to tie down a 15-year-old.
He has a busier schedule than we do, so.
Right. But he's funny. He's like, I just come in, I do a couple of bangers, and just disappears for 3 weeks. So, but he really does have some solid episodes on there. Before we get started, we just had episode 100, 17 weeks ago. And we had a nice little message from someone from the con congratulating us. So that was Ming Chen, Comic Book Man, 7 seasons, AMC. He was recently in the 4:30 movie, and he's been here at the con for the last 3 days. So awesome that Ming Chen is a part of the Whimsy family. He did say that next year, if he comes back, he will introduce us or moderate a panel for us. So that'll be kind of fun. Want to go?
I guess we're starting out kind of like we did on Friday. So those of you who shared on Friday, please share again because you have really great ideas. But do we have any current podcasters out there? Good. Love it. Love to see it. All the way in the back. Is anyone here thought about doing a podcast? I hope so since you're here. But awesome. And kind of what would your podcast be about, those of you who are thinking about it? Oh, all the way back.
A friend of mine, we're thinking of sharing our life experiences together. Honestly, sometimes at the event, we just feel like we're doing a South Park episode.
Yep. And we find that too on our podcast that we'll look back at episode 1 through 20, and it's a different Liam for sure. Oh, the voice change is real. He's now 15, and I think he was
13 when we started.
Yeah. But it's nice. It is really nice to have something to look back to, and even the most mundane things you forget about in 2 years, 3 years. Anyone else?
We've had a few ideas. We're teachers. We have a t-shirt business.
Yeah.
I'm obviously like a comic geek.
Of course.
Board games.
Right.
So part of it is we're not sure what to focus on.
Right.
We have 4 kids and we've been through it all.
Yeah.
4 kids. Wow.
Adoption is one. We've been through a transgender child, one who's had issues with drug addiction.
Gotta catch them all, I guess.
As parents, we've been through it all. So that's one idea that's nice.
I mean, that in itself, I would listen to that podcast.
I would. I do a podcast, Whimsy with a Z, where I hang out with 5 different teenagers all year. And once a month, we talk to each one of them, kind of get their experiences. So the idea that I can point them to a different podcast where, teenagers struggling with transgender issues or identity issues or drug issues, it would be nice to be able to point them that way and be like, you guys aren't alone, like it happens, and here's how you can kind of get out of it.
Yeah.
What was your podcast about?
Me and 2 of my friends run a Transformers podcast where they've never watched a show that I've watched for years. I have them watch it. We discuss each episode from new and old perspective.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, I remember that from last time.
Not so much because one of them lives in a completely different state. So that's also part of the reason why video stuff has never really worked, because we do it over Discord.
We'll get into it, but there's all the kids that I record, we do through like a Zoom like thing, so you can get the audio is fantastic on it, so you can definitely do it.
It's definitely better than I thought it would be.
Right, for sure.
Because Discord has a bit of a reputation.
Gentleman in the back, you had one.
Yeah, my next podcast is going to be called "What Time Is It Right Now?"
Okay.
And I will have guests who are artists, comedians, and they will tell me like 5-10 minutes about whatever project they're working on. And then at the end of the interview, I ask, "What time is it right now?" And then they tell me.
Very cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Young lady. Yes.
One episode during the COVID time
Okay.
called The Stunned Skies, and it was supposed to be a series, but then I got locked out of my Squarespace because I did all this like two-factor authentication stuff, and like one of those things doesn't work and you can't prove you're you.
Right.
And I was just curious if you work with Squarespace or if you work with any other hosting for your podcast.
Yeah, definitely. Towards the third section, I'll definitely get into
Hosting
some of
sites,
the hosting
yeah.
sites for sure. Yes, sir.
So I love film and TV shows and all that stuff. So I want to do TV show and movie news.
Okay, fantastic. Anybody on this side have one? TV, yes.
This isn't very original, but a movie critic movie review podcast. It's just not
It doesn't have to be like the newest thing in the block.
specific angle,
Right.
Yeah.
but just something in that genre.
What's interesting is what I found with us is if you ever like, I spend a lot of time on YouTube. If I watch all of Nick Crowley's creepy videos, he only puts them out once or twice a month, and within the first 2 days of like Monday, Tuesday, I'm done, caught up. I'm going to find somebody else. So even though it might not be an original idea, if I'm watching other movie reviews, I'm going to burn through everything that I'm already subscribed to, and I'm going to eventually find you. And that's where I end up selecting everybody else. And that's kind of like where I'm hoping to play in.
Basically, there's room for everyone.
There really is.
Yeah.
And I would love to hear your take on what you like about, Craven. Did you like Craven?
Did not. I had problems with it, but if you loved it, that's okay.
No, this is a personal attack on me for liking Craven. He has ulterior motives.
But that's the beauty of it is like you can find guests who are like, I love this movie, and you guys can have a little conversation. You can open yourselves up to guests and stuff every once in a while.
If you need bad takes on horrible Marvel movies, I'm there for you, man. I love them all, good and bad.
Like, I didn't think Madam Web was that bad. Marvel's was actually I think Marvel's is underrated. I thought the movie was so much fun. All the movies so much fun. Where are we at?
I kind of jumped ahead of slide.
Yes.
Sorry.
What would your podcast be about? So I do all this on Canva. So each slide is 5 seconds long. So that's why I'm kind of quiet for 4 seconds, waiting for the thing to kind of just rotate through. I learned to kind of play within my means. What's holding some of you guys back from podcasting? I know we had one during COVID, but we stopped and we had the authentication problem. So sometimes it's a tech issue. Yes.
Scheduling with the other hosts.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You got to get a new one because if you have a 15-year-old, he's gone. He's not doing anything.
Yeah.
When we do a rewatch, or we watch stuff ahead of time and we talk about it.
Right.
There was 4 of us. Now 2 of them moved to Thailand. So you're on a 14-hour time difference. And we're like, oh, you're sleeping, we're awake.
Right.
We do it here. You know?
Oh, that does make it hard. I know the idea was to do it with the 4 of you, but have you thought about
Guest hosts or
guest hosts, or kind of like every other month bring in the 4s and then you bring in 2 extras?
We're working on some stuff like that.
Okay.
We're testing it today, actually.
Okay.
We have at 4:30, we have a live one that we're doing. The 2 of us are still here. And we actually brought in a friend of mine that enjoys what we're going to be watching.
Perfect.
But she's never actually seen it yet, this actual piece.
Oh, that'll be fun.
We're doing the original and then NPR pilots
Okay.
episode. And she hadn't seen it yet, so I brought her in. And so we're testing how to do it with a guest kind of in person, and then the other ones we've done all via a Zoom.
Right. So. Fantastic. Where are some of the other struggles you guys have podcasting? What's holding you back? Yes.
Equipment, like I wouldn't even know where to begin.
Okay.
And I know how to edit.
Okay.
But I wouldn't know how to set this up and to make it work.
We got you covered on that one.
Right.
We're going to have a couple slides on the stuff that we use and stuff that we've used in the past.
The beauty, for example, like there's any number of recorders similar to this, and I'm using this one to put up on the Spotify layer today. So it's sometimes, you know what I mean? I don't even have a microphone. I'm just letting it just record off of its built-in mic. So, but yeah, we'll go over some mic and recorder options. Anybody else?
Right here.
Yes.
So Friday said commitment, I just wanted to expand a little bit on that. So we're teachers, we have a business, right? And so committing to something else, like that's a big fear, like we're gonna get in over our heads, thinking too much. And
Yeah, I mean, that would be really hard because you guys got, well, 2 jobs basically, right? You have a business and your teachers. And obviously kids is like a whole other job. Oh,
Yeah.
good.
we're good in that.
But I would say that like Ben and Liam started out car casting, so they have a long drive for him to drop him off with his mom, and they just recorded while they were driving.
You hear my blink here. You hear
Yeah.
me talking about traffic. But the idea was that we kind of coined it as like a car cast. It's the conversations that we have in the car. And that's where the whole podcast really started from. Was me and him would just have these long conversations driving out to, wherever for like an hour and a half away to go to school. And it was like, we should record these. There's some gold in here. And there was.
Yeah.
I will say with like the timing thing, I know that like with us, it's some of us that are in college, jobs, and are in completely different time zones, like
Right.
Pennsylvania. So what we found luck with was just we record every about 2 weeks, so then you give yourself a week
Yep.
of editing, putting the things
Right.
together, so you don't have to try to panic do
Right.
every single week on top of jobs and school and whatever else that you've got.
There's nothing saying that you have to have a weekly podcast
Yeah, the
of any
piece is
kind.
all you. You can do it monthly. You can
go seasonally when you're out of school. You're like, we're just going to go out and do 8 weeks of this thing, and then you guys will just come back and we'll see you again next year for 8 more episodes or 9 more episodes. A lot of it's just getting it out there. Yes, sir.
Couldn't you also just do like recording multiple episodes at one day
Yep.
and then splitting it up?
Yes.
Depends
Yeah.
on how much time you have and what's
Right.
sitting.
Well, depending, yeah, and your subject matter and everything else. But like, because what's interesting is like the idea that you're going to rewatch a bunch of stuff. You're like 6 hours later, you're like,
Each of our recording things, we're recording for at least 2 hours
Right.
every time, and you get back down.
Right.
So the idea of like, just record several at a time, it's like,
6 hours is crazy. Yeah.
What time is it? He can easily record 6, 7 a day, and kind of piece them out, keep them 15 minutes each, and just post them once a month or once a week. With the commitment, 100%. We're all busy, but then every once in a while, take when you're doom scrolling and you're just doing nothing, and you look back and be like, I've doom scrolled for 2 hours. You technically could have recorded something for an hour or for half an hour or even 15 minutes. It's definitely, you got to kind of rewire yourself a little bit for that commitment aspect, but there's nothing that says it has to be a weekly or, bi-weekly, monthly, seasonal. I'm totally cool with. What Mr. Beast doesn't put out videos but once a month. Nick Crowley, he puts one out once a month and they're only like 25 minutes long. So there's some of those things where you're just like, as long as I know when you're coming out, I'll be there. I just need to know what the schedule is. So I think we mentioned that Friday. Just make sure you're communicating what kind of schedule you have. So that way, when I'm coming looking for you, I know where you're at. Anybody else? All right, let's get into podcasting. Let's figure this thing out. We're going to go over 3 different things: recorders, microphones, hosting sites, and supporting sites and apps.
Okay. How many of you are familiar with Kevin Smith and specifically Clerks? Everyone like Kevin Smith. Do you guys know how much he spent to film Clerks.
Total.
Yeah.
Everything was. Anybody else? Any other guesses? We got 6, 7, under 10 grand. 27,175.
Yes.
Like, put it all on credit cards. He cashed in his comic book collection. He sold 2 cars, but he put it all on credit cards.
Yeah, and he did a lot of stuff to. Hi, babe. He did a lot of stuff to cut the budget. He shot in black and white because at the time it was cheaper to do so. He used a lot of his friends and family because, as we all know, friends and family are free. Here's our free labor right now.
He had his mom in it. Mom was the milk lady at the end. Walt Flanagan played 6 different characters in that movie.
Yeah. He shot in like convenience stores, after hours. It's a lot of it is asking permission, and we kind of think of ourselves as more like an indie podcast. That you'll see us at cons and stuff like that, but we'll set up tables and talk to people. And what we found so far is that the cheapest thing is being brave and just asking, because you can go to a lot of cons and they'll say you can set up a table and you can record for free. We went to TusCon down in Tucson, and we went by Robert Kurtzman's booth, and we asked him, can we get you for 10 minutes on our podcast? I know this is really annoying. He said, talk to my wife and set it up. And he talked with us for 30 minutes, and that didn't cost us a single thing. We just had to ask and take the opportunities. We record mostly at his kitchen table or my kitchen table. Again, we don't need a fancy like studio or like a room dedicated to it if you're worried about like space in your apartment or your house. We try to use what we have, and we start out talking just to friends and family. So if you're worried about people being on the podcast or how to get celebrities or other people on there, a lot of it is just asking and knowing like when to take a chance.
My son's chair squeaks like crazy. He loves to eat while he's podcasting. He has a microphone arm and he doesn't know where to put it. So his volumes are all over the place. For our podcast, it adds a little bit of the charm. Her dog's rocking around, clicking around the tile.
His little toenails on the tiles. She's in the background of every single podcast. You can probably hear her talking or.
But a lot of it comes down to the content. Like, as long as you get your content out, go back and listen to the first 5 episodes of Chasing the Whimsy. It's they're good, but you can hear some of the static. You can tell that right around 7, 8, I learned how to start editing, cutting out some of the background noise. The AC would kick on all the time. I still can't get rid of the chair squeak, but it is what it is. But yeah, we like thinking that we're like indie podcasting. Like, it's the Wild West right now. There's nothing stopping any of you from doing anything. So similar to what the idea that Kevin Smith creates a movie for $27,000, then turns it into Mallrats, Chasing Amy, Dogma that just got re-released for its 25th anniversary. And now he's here at the con. Like, he put all that together for believing in himself and utilizing those around him. And that's kind of what we said a lot on Friday, and what we're trying to do here today is just get out there, start it, and then once you kind of hear what you want to change, and you kind of know what direction. Some of the things you guys were commenting on is like, I just don't know where to start. Hit record, start, and then tweak the things along the way.
Yeah, you can do a test episode and learn about doing levels and stuff. We skipped that. We just had bad levels in our first episode. But you have to understand that when you record something, it's not going anywhere. It doesn't have an auto upload feature. Just try it out. Be creative. Learn how to talk on a pod, especially if you're by yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know how Ben does it. When we are together, we talk, but he does some by himself, and I would be completely lost on how to just talk for an hour.
It is the weirdest feeling in the world. They're old man episodes. So if you go look through the catalog, anything that says old man on it, it's me by myself. most of them are okay, but there was a time where my kid's like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" He's like, "You sound depressed." I'm like, "Because I'm podcasting by myself." but, but hey, I got to do what I got to do sometimes. So the first thing that we need if we're going to start a podcast, similar to a young lady here mentioned, is what kind of recorder, where do I start?
And I think you guys all brought the first recorder that you can use with you, which is your phone. Yeah. A lot of people are worried that their levels aren't going to be good or the audio is not going to be good, but technology is pretty amazing right now. If you have like an iPhone, it's going to sound perfectly good. And you can, of course, adjust the levels later if it doesn't sound the way that you want it. But it's valid just to use what you have, and you don't need to buy anything else other than that. If you want to, we will tell you what to buy, but yes.
If you use Discord, there is a specific bot that you can download for a specific channel that it will record everything for you, and you can download it in a multiple and whatever
Right.
file format that you want. So that is also free.
Right.
Yeah.
You happen to have Discord.
I'm not going to lie. I'm not good at Discord. I can't figure it out.
It's a young man's game.
I'm like I want to know how to play in Reddit. Can't handle forums. I'm like I can't do it. Discord is very, very popular also. These two recorders, the digital recorders, my nephew, 9 years old, I got him one for his birthday. The Adventures of Yellowstone on Spotify right now. He used that recorder to record in his bedroom.
And Diary of a Cool Kid.
And Diary of a Cool Kid he did online, but he recorded by himself. He just he wanted to record. He's 9, so he's like going to be a famous YouTuber. I'm like, all right, let's do it. But he just hit record, and you can hear him like, what was it? The story of a boy who gets some powers and he has to go fight. There's a king's trial. He's got to prove himself, and you can hear him in his room with the sword, and he's like hacking and slashing. You can barely hear him, but I could play with some of those levels a little bit. But the idea was that he was not self-conscious enough. He just wanted to tell this Yellowstone story, and kind of what we're here to do with you guys is you start recording, and we'll be happy to help clean it up a little bit and help get it out there for you guys, so you guys are happy with what it sounds like. But again, you got to get that record first. That white one in the middle, I still use to this day for my Saturday live stream. Mind Pockets, I record some ideas and thoughts throughout the week. I use that recorder, and I play that for everybody, and I kind of just comment on whatever I've been thinking about all week. So there's nothing really bad with any of these options. Your phones are free. Get a Bluetooth. You all have earbuds, so worst case, use Bluetooth it. But these two recorders, they're not that bad. The black one I think is like $30 on Amazon, and then the white one was like $45. Yes, sir. Rando generic, and then this one was Dictapro, the white one. Yeah, just any random, just Google Amazon, just hit digital recorder and find one for like $30, and they all will record.
Yeah, I would just look at the reviews though, because obviously on Amazon there are some things that are less than good, but if there's a lot of reviews that look like people are saying they enjoyed it, it's probably good and just the same quality as the ones that we have.
What's the advantage of using a recorder over your phone?
Nothing. Preference. Me personally, I record a lot, so I don't want to bog my phone down with all those saved things. Transferring stuff off of an iPhone sometimes is kind of a huge pain. So as opposed to just having the USB transfer, you can upload it. Live is just preference, but they both work. You can get apps where you can take it from the phone and just upload it to the site.
And then you can connect mics to these, right?
Yeah. This H4 has 2 XLR spots, so you can technically record it. The Zoom H4. It's like $199. 100%. If you're looking for like a slightly upgraded, wait until like holidays, Black Friday, Amazon days. I think I picked this thing up for like $150. But maybe you're like, I don't like the recorder idea. I want one of these things. You have the Zoom.
The H1, this
Yeah, the H1 in
like
the middle.
$99.
The exact same thing as this. It just doesn't have the 2 extra spots. We use this one a couple of times at a couple of the cons. We use this one at a couple of the cons. What's nice about some of these new Zooms, they really help with the levels already. So the P4, the gray one up top, that's a bundle you can buy online. Just type in Zoom bundle. You get the 2 microphones, the headphones, the tripods, and the recorder for $299. It's not I made my son spend his birthday money to get it. Like, if you're going to podcast, I need you to invest a little bit with me.
But you don't need to buy a kit or anything like that. Currently, we record with just one microphone. It's a 360 mic.
I haven't used that thing in a year. I only use this one because we're here at the con today. I don't use them. I use more of a microphone type, the USB, and I'll show you what we do with that. But that's just you can use a gaming microphone, USB. Depending how many people you have, I have one that's like an omnidirectional, so that way you can hear me and her on opposite sides of the table. So, but I mean, gaming mics aren't that much.
You already have them,
right? I mean, if you any gamers in here, you're just like, I mean, you can technically podcast right onto Twitch if you wanted to. But those are technically some examples. You can go a little bit on the lower side. If you want something a little bit, these are still relatively inexpensive, but 100%. You can start with the digital recorders. Nothing wrong with them. I still use them. My nephew used them, and I currently use a USB mic. I don't even use the big recorders. I just use them for big events. Yes, please.
You say that more expensive mics, they do a good job of balancing levels.
Yeah.
Like that. The small digital recorders, do they do that as well?
No, but we got 2 slides from now. There's a couple of sites that will help even those things out for you. So, because that was one of the problems. The interesting is in 2 years, AI website helping with levels and stuff is just skyrocketed. Like, I wish I had stuff like this 2 years ago. But this here has a floating 32-bit something. I don't know what that means, but it won't spike the levels up past 32 bits. So no matter how loud I get, it will kind of even itself out a little bit. Any other questions about recorders, microphones? You can really, it's again, all of its preference. Start with the hand recorder, work your way up, or just stay with the hand recorder for a while, depending on what it is that you guys are doing. All right, now it's time to record. You have your mic of choice.
Yeah, so we've been talking about $200, $40. I'm going to talk about free. StreamYard is free, so you can use it to live stream, which Ben has used before, but now we've moved over to
an OBS.
Yeah, an OBS. But it's free. You can record 20 hours for free, and if 20 hours doesn't sound like a lot, Ben has 4 podcasts, and he barely hits 20 hours. So then that's per month. So
I would challenge any of you to record 20 hours in a week or in a month.
It's a lot more than it sounds. Yeah.
You figure you record an hour and a half per week, 4 weeks, like you still got a chunk of time.
Yeah, we're barely hitting it as we are. And so anything up until that is free. There's certain like aspects of it that are less free. StreamYard is also good for live streaming if you want to do that as well. We do live streaming for our Mind Pockets, and it has more customization than things like Zoom. Obviously, Zoom is also free to a certain point and accessible, but StreamYard really lets you customize everything the way you want it to look, your branding. It has on-screen comments, which is nice because then you can interact with people. We use that, I think, StreamYard for the first year that we we're podcasting. We're in our second year now.
You technically get the watermark on the top corner, but nobody notices or cares. It's free, similar to what you said about Discord. Once you record it, you can download the video of it if you need the video, or just the audio of it, and you take that WAV file, and then we'll show you where to move that over to kind of help play with some of the levels a little bit. That's super kind of easy. StreamYard, I like them. That's the first one I used. Ming Chen during COVID used StreamYard over Zoom.
Yeah, it's super user friendly, and all you need is your email address. So they're not going to ask you for billing information.
I use OBS now, just because I wanted to expand my creativity a little bit. Wanted to learn how to play with some of the overlays a little bit. The idea of a green screen kind of was fascinating. I'm like, I don't know how to do it, but I think I need to do OBS with it.
Yeah.
That's also free as well.
OBS is free. What's the beauty of a lot of these? Go on YouTube and be like, set up StreamYard, and they'll give you the 6-minute video on how to set it up for Twitch, YouTube. It's super user friendly. My 9-year-old nephew came over and was like, "Hey, let's podcast a little bit." I'm like, "I'm working." He's like, so I just logged in, and he just recorded for 45 minutes. Goes home. He's like, StreamYard. Logged in, put his email address in, and he was up recorded within the hour. And then he's like, "Oh, go, Ben, I have an audio for you." I'm like, "Wait, for what?" He's like, "I'm already recording." So a 9-year-old can handle it. It is super user friendly, probably one of the most user friendly.
And you can live stream to several platforms at once. So that's good if you want to go cross platforms to YouTube and other platforms to live stream, like Twitch and stuff like that.
Once you take the WAV file, Audacity is technically free. I don't think there's a pay option anywhere for Audacity. There's no upgrade or anything. Audacity is what I used for like the digital recorders. You take the file, you drop it in, and show you the waves, right? You can see where the speech kind of gets a little bit crazy.
Definitely, Liam.
Yeah, it caps out at the top, so your floating 32-bit is going to kind of help keep it from maxing out on top of some of those. It looks weird and scary, but for like this, what I would do. So I'm gonna take this recording. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna upload it. It's gonna look similar to this. I'm gonna select all, and then I'm going to there's a drop down for like a loudness normalization, and then I might compress it and then amplify it, like 3 little clicks. They're already preset to some of the decent levels, and go back after this YouTube, the episode 117A, you can hear what this thing can do with the audio in 12 minutes. And then, it's just a select all and just like literally 3 different adjustments that I make. I normalize it, I kind of compress it to kind of get everything to one point, and then I just amplify it all again.
And speaking of YouTube, there are tutorials to use Audacity and everything that we're going to have as hosting sites and supplemental sites. It's really easy. They'll teach you. It's going to be like a 5-minute video, and you'll feel like a pro. There's a lot of buttons on there, but you don't need to use all of them. It's
I don't know
like
how
looking at Excel or something. You don't know how to use half of it. You use Excel every day for your job, probably. Yeah, Riverside. This is what we've been using for year 2 of our podcast. Riverside is like partnered with Spotify, so you can take things directly from like Riverside to Spotify, and then you can take it from Riverside to YouTube.
Yes.
So you can make a video form of your audio podcast. A lot of people like to listen on YouTube. A lot of people are on YouTube and not on Spotify or other platforms. So it's always good to spread as much as you can. And Riverside makes it super easy. It's basically like click and drag. You're now on Spotify. You're now on YouTube. You have to come up with like some kind of visual like a tile or something like that to make your video. You don't need video of yourself if you don't want to record yourself. It is better at leveling the background noise than Audacity is. It has AI features too, but you have to be kind of careful with them. The AI is trained to take out any ums or likes or pauses, but it would also just take away all the pauses between people talking and make it sound like you made an hour-long sentence. So you do have to be careful. It'll give you options to like, here's the pause here. Do you want to delete it? Don't just say delete all. You do have to listen to it a little bit and kind of click a little bit, but it will identify like the problem areas for you, so you're not sitting there for an hour going, ugh. Megan said, like, again.
It's very literal. The first time I kind of just went in there and just gave it all. It took an hour and 10-minute episode, and it took out all of the ums and the filler words and some of the pauses, cut that thing down to like 45 minutes. And we listened to it. It's almost unlistenable.
Yeah, it is terrible. Kelly, my sister back there, she called Ben and she said, "Do you know what you just uploaded? You can barely listen to it." So there's like a learning curve, and maybe you should listen to something before you upload it. But
it's very similar to StreamYard. I record from here. It's free also. Once you record, you save it, and they will auto adjust a lot of your levels to something like reasonable. There's a transcription of the full episode. So if you're trying to edit stuff out, there's a chunk where I don't want to say my full name or my address. You can just highlight it, delete, and it'll just auto pull that piece of audio out. This is one of the only sites that I actually pay for the upgrade. I think it comes out to $140 a year, but it is one of the better things because it does the auto adjusting on some of the levels. It's super user friendly for like editing stuff. Sometimes we podcast, we drop our city and state or the name of the school, and I got to take those out, so I can just basically Control F, find name of school, and just delete it out. But once you upload it, there's a button on the export screen that says to Spotify, and it will auto link it to Spotify. And then I just put the description in, and it's up. So the episode that we just did on 117A of Friday's panel was done with Audacity, uploaded to Riverside for the final tweaks, and then uploaded. The whole process maybe took 20 minutes. Did I miss it? No, I did not. Okay, hosting sites. You guys had mentioned like where the two authentication, some of the problems getting locked out of different programs and sites. 100%. The only one I'm ever going to talk about right now is definitely going to be Spotify. Absolutely the greatest. They recently bought Anchor, and which was another hosting site. Absolutely free. Every podcast you want to put out, 100% free, super user friendly, and it does work with the Riverside. Every podcast I run now runs through Spotify. There's links when you get in there that you can put in to Apple, and then you reach out to all the different platforms. But best hosting site you can use. How easy is it, Megan?
How easy is it? This is kind of like if you're trying to make a podcast. The easiness is that Ben would have to move his mouse down to that first.
Oh yeah.
That first option, create a podcast, and that's basically it. It's after that, it's all just putting in your information. So don't accidentally click look for a podcast, and you made it. I always thought that like starting a podcast, the hardest part would be a name, and then we were here on Friday. Yeah. And everybody already has a name for their podcast. I'm like, you guys are amazing. I would not be what's holding you back, Megan? I can't think of a name.
I will say it did take like at least a week or two of like actively trying to think of what do we call this?
Yeah.
I never thought the name would be
so hard. Yeah. But yeah, you need a name and a description. I can't read that from there. I'm very blind. I'm sorry. Our creator name is in there right now, Chasing the Whimsy. It has you pick a category for your podcast, like, business, news, true crime, blah, blah, blah. And then language. And then you would just have a photo. This is as easy as like asking AI to generate you a photo. If you guys use ChatGPT or anything like that, just create logo with. We had this drawn by one of our friends, but another free resource for any of you guys: artistic friends, people who make music for your theme music. Associate with people who are creative and give them a platform for their creativity. And that's really what we've used a lot for our merch, for our comic section that we have, and our theme song.
Yep.
Yeah.
Jay Sarge, who did Tell Him Steve Dave's theme music, reached out to him and was like, hey, would you be willing to? And he gave me a couple of samples. I'm like, I like this one, and can I use this other one for my live? So, he was happy to kind of play. We had him guest on our show.
We've been a guest on.
I've been on his show a couple of times.
Yeah.
So about utilizing the resources, like how do I start podcasting? You have to know something. If you know someone who draws, have them, or graphic design, make me a logo. I need, I need some Transformers transforming into like 3 girls or something. Like, I don't know, who knows? Or like,
You did draw it. You can do it.
right?
Yeah, we're not talented in that way,
No.
but we know a lot of people who are.
I can talk for days. That's all I got.
Yeah.
And then the last one, after you put in your logo, that's it. You're done. You are currently up on Spotify right now. You can go on to Spotify, and I actually have. If you look on the very far, those are the 4 podcasts that I have right now, and then technically, Phoenix Fan Fusion is still technically up there right now. Where, like, if we had Wi-Fi, I would have just done it for you guys right now. It would have been faster than us explaining it.
Yeah, the 5 seconds between the slides would be what it took to sign up a new podcast.
But super easy. I love Spotify. I love all of them. And if you have multiple podcasts, you can sort them all right at there.
And you drag and drop your episode right in that bottom right-hand corner, and that's it. It's uploaded.
How much does that cost?
Free.
It's free. Yeah.
Everything on Spotify right now is free. Yes, sir.
Have you guys ever used something like Podbean that allows you to get on multiple different sites?
You can still do it from here. If you play a little bit in the settings, there's a tab where you can, you'd have to go to some of those other sites like Apple, iHeartRadio. There's a couple of links that you got to find, drop them in there, and it'll take the RSS feed from Spotify and drop them into all the other platforms. So it's still fairly easy. I think right now, Apple, iHeartRadio, Spotify, and then for some reason I lost SoundCloud, but I think it's because I was there and I closed the account. But 100% free. I think they're the best right now. All right, so how much does all this cost, and where are all the hidden costs? Right now we're looking at like, what, $50 for a recorder, $25 for a USB mic. Like, we're under $100, generously under $100. You got a computer, USB, hand recorder. You got 3 sites. You got Riverside, helps level stuff out. You got Audacity if you want to learn how to play with the editing aspect of it. But you're like, we need more stuff. Ben's presentation must have cost you a fortune. No, not at all. Megan, where are some of the sites that I use?
Okay, so this presentation was made on Canva, and we use Canva for streaming right now, I believe.
Yeah. My overlay was made on Canva.
And
all my thumbnails are made on Canva.
This middle thing, being image creator, is like ChatGPT, where you can get AI generated images. We don't use it a whole.
I used it for JJ's. JJ wanted the Adventures of Yellowstone. So logo, Adventures of Yellowstone, comma, boy with sword, comma, black and gold, and it kind of came up with whatever. And you kind of just play with the prompts a little bit with AI. If you guys ever, AI is amazing. Like, worst case, lose a day and just play with the image generator. It's so much fun. Like, there's so many cool things you can make with it. But very super.
And great if you're not like artistic or creative
right.
and you don't have friends. Like,
I absolutely, I use it every once in a while. But if I needed to make logos, I would use that to start with my logo idea. Because like sometimes I don't know what the image is. I don't know I know what I think I want my logo to look like. So I'll AI generate one, kind of get a couple of ideas and be like, that's mostly there. And then I could take it to somebody who might be able to help digitally fix it a little bit more. But at least that way she has a general idea of what theme I'm going for. I'm like, hey, I need gnomes in the pocket. She's like, I don't know what that means. Oh my God, gnomes, yeah, interesting stuff. I love it. I love playing with AI images. What else do we have up here?
Render Forest. It can make your podcast into a video, so video format for YouTube, which is good for going across multiple platforms. And you're thinking like it's probably easy to just make an audio file into a YouTube video, but this helps you make it with an image or images that you want to put on there.
Music visualization, I think, is what they call it. So you take the audio and it'll kind of sync up with some kind of the opening theme song with the blue. That was Render Forest. So that way I took his theme song. Now I have a music video to go with it. With the intro, I could type in,
Chasing the Whimsy.
Right. StreamYard's free. Social Pilot, I pay for that one. This one is for all my socials. It's not that much. I think it may be $150, I think, but it lets me
post ones to all the platforms. So you to make a post and it'll go to Twitter and everything like that.
I use it for the big five: Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and wherever the other one I'm missing. But this morning, if you go, I created one short from this weekend, and I make I edit the short in Canva, so I get the nice reel. I take that and I go to Social Pilot, and it lets me click all 5 socials with the description. Boom, post for all 5 of them. You don't need it. Like I just use it because I'm trying to get the brand out there a little bit. I hate playing on social media. I'm not good at it at all. But fairly inexpensive as far as like a monthly is considered. OBS is free. That's just a different way of streaming. But the beauty of all of these is most of them have some kind of free aspect, and I've used all of these. I still currently use most of these in all their free aspects, except for the Social Pilot. It's the only one that I found that the next slide is the reason why I use my own Social Pilot. Megan?
Oh, don't get scammed. So this is something that we found out kind of, let's say, fairly early into podcasting. The moment you click add podcast on Spotify, if you will, people are going to come to you with all these marketing ideas. They're going to say, I'm going to get you 1,000 new subscribers and 10,000 views in 1 week. And a lot of times it's a complete scam. It's a lie. They take your money and run. Other times you have to really read what they're saying. So you may get 1,000 views, but it's all on one video, so it doesn't really spread the engagement. And they're technically fulfilling the contract, but you're not getting the engagement and growth that you want. And truly, I would say that, especially in the infancy of your podcast, don't engage with these people. If you want marketing later on, you'll be able to find people who are reputable. And unfortunately, that will be people you have to pay probably more than these people are asking for. But almost anyone who says they're going to give you something for nothing or something for just a little bit is trying to get a little bit of your money. And they're not going to deliver on anything that they said that they're going to give.
I use Social Pilot. the amount of money I wasted on some of these like they are definitely scams. They offer you a fake fake views and downloads. You technically get the views and downloads, but not a single one of the 10,000 views did a single person reach out and comment on the podcast episode. And I'm like, I would have paid the same amount for 8 people to have listened and 2 of them to have commented. So that's why I use Social Pilot, so that way I can try to control my own marketing or my own social media aspect of it.
And they will try to use words like organic views, and that just means like 5 guys with 20 phones clicking like and watching your video over and over again. Technically, yes, they are organic views. They happened. It's real, but what are you really getting?
When we first started, we used the Shared Universe. That's Ming Chen's podcast studio. He does a 1-hour class. You'll talk to him, hang out, and he'll record for half an hour with you. We did that for our episode 0. Kind of get started, asked a bunch of questions, similar to what this was. You can definitely utilize Ming Chen. I still hang out with him as much as I can. Wednesday Studios is something new that we're trying to do. The reason for the panel is I want more people podcasting. I like the idea of other people kind of getting their passions out there. And I'm offering to kind of help continue to guide after today through our Patreon. Sign up for the free one. Like, I'm not even asking for the $4 tier or the $10 tier. Just sign up for free. You got access to a chat. Let's all hang out, talk about your podcast, ask your questions about which recorder do I like, put some links in there. And let's get you guys like up podcasting. Let me, if there's enough of you, 100%, maybe I just start recording a live in which I'll create a podcast live online with you guys. You want to see me edit an episode on Audacity? I can definitely do that. I just need you guys to show some support and an interest, and I'll be happy to help out any way I can. Monetizing is super hard. We technically monetized on YouTube a couple of months ago. You need like the 4,000 views, the 50,000 hours, or the 5,000 hours of view time. You can technically monetize from there.
4,000 views, I think you can have like.
No, 4,000 subs, I'm sorry. Yeah, and then like 50,000 total viewed hours. So it takes a little bit of time to kind of get to those. Monetize aspect, I have not cleared. I'm still on the red on this thing. I'm breaking even, to be honest with you, because I use all the free stuff as much as I can. The page, you have to have so many views and subs to kind of get monetized. There's certain thresholds and milestones that you have to hit before YouTube starts paying me. Or the same thing with Spotify. I'm still in the process of learning that journey. So please start you guys' podcast. Follow me and find out what I'm doing, and maybe together we can come up with a different idea. The Patreon right now is probably the best way for me to kind of to get incoming money. YouTube's taking 30-40%. Spotify's doing something similar, and they're only giving you pennies on the view. So technically, I make more on the Patreon. Asking.
With the Patreon.com.
Mm-hmm. Patreon. This thing takes just as easy just to sign up. But friends, family, you guys, if we all create our own Patreon, our own podcast, and we can all continue to share with each other. With me, I'm just asking you guys to sign up for the free and give me an opportunity to share our experiences and whatever. I'm not saying I'm a professional by any means of this, but I'm definitely 2 years ahead of where you guys are today. And together we can work with each other. If she does digital marketing, you want to start a podcast, guess what? She's going to go ahead and give us, she's going to help us out with some digital art. If you guys want to do OBS, I'll help, create your overlays and stuff. So a lot of it right now is just this idea of let's build a community so we can, just work together and just start making something that's going to be fun for all of us. I mean, we're all here. We all love nerd stuff, nerd culture. We all, have an interest in starting a podcast. So there's 40 of us in here right now that would sign up for all of your guys' podcasts. And we'll start there, and we'll figure out what the next step is. Here's all of my socials, emails. You can chase the whimsy on anywhere you listen to your podcast. I feel so sorry. I should have said this earlier. I noticed you guys are all taking pictures. Email me, or I'll put this slide up on YouTube for you guys. I'm so sorry. I was like, okay, you're taking pictures. I'm like, I'll put this whole thing up there for you guys. Yeah. Any questions, email me, whimsy@chasingthewhimsy.com. The Patreon, the only reason is so that way you guys can all hang out in the chats with me. So if you guys have similar questions, maybe I can answer multiple people's questions at once. Or if you're nervous about, how do I ask a question about artwork, you're like, I'll wait for somebody else. And, or she jumps in, she's like, hey, I'll help with some artwork. Let's see what she can do and advertise all of her stuff. With the Patreon, there's technically a tier I have on the Patreon that is Fan Fusion specific for today. There's one from Friday. There's 3 slots, and then there's 3 slots for the Saturday one. So you guys take your pick from whatever one. Look at it. There's a description. I will actually record 2 30-minute episodes for you guys every month and produce it and post it for you guys. So for a smaller fee, if you want to figure out, I don't know how to do it, let me, for the next couple of months, let me record for you. You guys do your podcast. I'll just record it. I'll upload everything. I'll fix it, and I'll post it all for you guys. And I don't mind doing that. My thing is I really enjoy podcasting, and the idea that you guys start your own podcast. I mentioned it Friday. You start a podcast. You keep in touch with me. Let's build something together. You guys will do this panel with me next year. I'll 100% invite you guys to give 10 minutes about whatever your podcast was. I had to reach out to AJ, who's fantastic. That guy's amazing. I was like, hey, I want to do a panel. He's like, here you go. I'm like, I've never done a panel before, but let's do it. Because I'm like, I talked to him for an hour. Yeah, I think he runs most of the programming for.
You'll find at every con there's a contact us, and we use that most of the time when we go to cons to see if we can either podcast or do a panel.
Yes, sir.
I can help you with that.
Perfect.
I'm on staff. So
are you?
Yeah.
How'd I do? That's good.
I run the gaming part.
Oh, okay.
Oh, cool.
I was going to say I've done panels here for almost 10 years now.
Okay.
So that was actually how we got started. People were asking us to put our panels.
Yeah.
So there's different contacts based upon different departments where you are he's gaming.
Right.
There's also sci-fi. There's also horror. Every department has its depending on where your podcast might fit.
Right.
Be the different contacts going.
So, a lot of it's just ask and just reach. It's so interesting. Some of the pre-show stuff. I've talked to Brian Johnson, Ming Chen, Walt Flanagan from Comic Book Men, Robert Kurtzman. I technically had a Grammy winner from 2023 for New Age Vocalist. You just reach out to people and be like, hey, do you want to talk for half an hour with me? And they're like, sure, let's do it. Or they're promoting something, they'll reach out to you. It's just the first step is you got to get out and hit that record button and just start. Record something. If you don't like it, send it to me. I'll give you some feedback. I'll produce it a little bit and be like, all right, you don't like the way it sounds? Let me fix it real quick and I'll send it back to you. It's important for me right now that as we build our brand and that we're promoting the whole indie idea is whatever's holding you guys back, that I do what I can to help you guys out. Any questions or anything? Technically, I don't think there's anything else after this, right?
No.
Yes.
Good.
Oh, I just wanted to know a little bit about a quick question about sound design, or I'm not sure sound design, sound engineering. If there's a good convolution reverb plugin that either of you recommend if you want to really get into it, to affect the space itself, like people are, like, say, you have characters who are in an empty mall versus an elevator, for example, that can adjust the tones.
Audacity would probably be one of the better places for that. And then definitely you would just tell YouTube Audacity minimize echo, and then they'll give you the 4-minute video on what levels to hit and kind of.
There are plugins.
Yeah.
There are plugins that are more complicated, that have more stuff
Yep.
that it can do than that. But I mean, to really, like, if you're really going down that route,
Right.
or you really want to adjust stuff to feel like it's in
Right.
pieces,
Thank you guys for coming in.
Is there something?
Thank you guys.
Not yet. I'm not quite that far advanced into the sound engineering. Real quick, we did this on Friday also. We'll go ahead and I'll hang out for a minute, but we'll go ahead and end the panel official and the podcast official. If you guys can all just give me a quick one real loud whimsy on the count of 3.
Whimsy!
That's my mom's favorite part right now. Thank you guys. If you guys have other places to go, by all means, please come up. We got some business cards. We got some. Show me you subscribe to something, and I'll go let's give away some of these sweet token merch. But I appreciate all you guys for hanging out, and I look forward to hearing emails and your guys' podcasts. Thank you.